do a wrap and yap. The first question, another baby, question mark.
Romeo just said that my other art in the living room is the worst thing in our house.
Needs some help. It lacks all character.
And I didn't want to buy anything for the wall because I was gonna build the bookshelf.
One project that you are proud of and one project that you are not happy 100% with from this year.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the vlog. The day before vlog had to roll into today's vlog. I was so tired coming back from Christmas gift shopping. I was so exhausted, but I really wanted to decorate Kate's tree. So I did that this morning to add it to that video. So now we're starting a new one. So hi, welcome to Vlogmas day 9. Crazy. Doing 12 days of Vlogmas this year, and I'm actually feeling really good about that decision because I've been able to do Vlogmas, like, I feel like really well. So I've been able to keep it going and feel good about it. Last year when I was pregnant, I was just so fatigued. That time frame in my first trimester where I was drained. I was exhausted. I wouldn't be able to go out and like walk around a Christmas market or even really do Christmas shopping. Like, I did a lot of it online. I just didn't have the energy. Of course, no one knew yet that I was pregnant. So this year I'm feeling a lot more energized and more energetic. I'm able to, like, you know, keep it going. But I am glad we're doing 12 days because it gives us time to just like celebrate the holidays and spend it as a family as well, while also doing more videos for you guys. So let's do Kinsley's advent. Oh, you know what time it is. After Christmas, she's gonna be like, we need to get a new one. Oh, you're so precious. I'm also paying very much attention to my camera. Some settings or something got messed up yesterday. I think it looks pretty good. So I think I fixed it. Other than that smudge on you guys, hold on. That might be even better. Okay, we're gonna do it. You wanna do it? You got 2 yesterday. She didn't eat the wreath. I didn't even try and give it to her. Jump, jump. Good job. Okay, it's day 9, Kinsley. Oh, number 9 is big. Oh my goodness. What are you gonna do? Sometimes these are kind of hard to open. What is it? Oh my gosh, it's a ball. Look, does it squeak? Or is it just a tennis ball? Romeo said, oh no. She got another ball. Show them how excited you get. Tell me. What is this? Is this a ball? What is this? You want to go play? Oh, she's down. Oh, and it bounces. Oh, she's in heaven. That was a good one, Kinsley. I'm sure you're gonna go down to having small ones the next day. Where's number 10? Yeah, 10, 11 small. Oh, but 12 is big. So it is a little bit later. It's actually lunchtime, and I've got some HelloFreshers, and I need to, I don't need them to go to waste. We need to make it. We also ate breakfast, a good breakfast this morning. We ate it before I got started on the tree. So let's make some lunch. Let's see what we've got. Baby, you want firecracker meatballs? Or shrimp, garlicky shrimp, couscous bowls. This shrimp looks too good, I have to make it. This is not sponsored, I just really like it. I'm gonna defrost the shrimp, cook some lunch, and then we're gonna get going on our day. We have a lot of house stuff to do. This is why I love to get these meals, because it makes makes me feel like I can cook something amazing. This looks really good. I did substitute the couscous for rice. I have attempted to cook couscous on our oven several times and I keep burning it. I need more time to like figure it out. So I'm like, I'm not even gonna mess with it. I'm gonna make some rice in the rice cooker and call it a day. But yum lunch. Okay, I got myself a little bit ready. I'm not in my PJs anymore. So we bought something. We waited until Black Friday, Cyber Monday to get a TV. We got a 50-inch frame TV. We really want to put a TV in our bedroom. Originally, I was like, we don't need a TV in the bedroom. I don't want a TV in the bedroom. I like that it's just like, that's where we sleep. Also because in our bedroom, we had those glass doors. You could literally lay in our bed and look at our TV in our living room. So it was like, why would we put two TVs? Like, why would we have one in the bedroom and one right there in the living room? It did make sense. And I wanted there to be like a bigger piece of art. Well, now that I covered the glass in the doors with our panels, which I love, the best decision that I made, and a project that I should have tackled a year ago when I wanted to. It offers so much privacy, just coziness, really. When you're in like a cozier, like smaller spot, it feels and hits differently. So I'm so glad that we did it. I spiraled earlier because this is Cade's 6-month half birthday. I can't believe it. I was bawling my eyes out like 5 minutes ago when I realized that it's his 6th-month birthday. Like, he's 6 months old, which is absolutely insane. I can't believe it. But the baby still, you know, takes a nap in his bassinet, or we're in there, or sometimes, you know, one of us is up when the other one isn't, and we're sleeping. So it's been so good. So since you can't see the TV anymore, we got a TV for in there, but I want to frame it. I also want to frame the one that's in our living room on the other side of this wall. I want to frame that one as well. That one is going to be a little tricky. Let me show you. I'm not going to talk too loud. Romeo and the baby are taking a nap. But this one is going to be a little tricky. You see how big it is? Now, we had this TV already before we moved into this house. We had it in our apartment. It's a 65-inch. Now, I have all the garland up there right now, but you can see how close it is to the edge. I'm not going to be able to do a very beefy frame. I still want it to be ornate, but I don't want it to be very big. It's not going to fit the space. It's already pretty large. But we already have the TV, and we like the big TV. So we're going to have to figure out a molding that makes sense for that one. But in here, there's obviously a lot more space, but I still didn't want a super large TV in here. 50-inch is a decent size, and it was $600 off for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's why I waited. And my mom had like a ton of gift cards that she gave us. So I was like, oh, this basically is like working out really well for us. It's gonna fit really well here. It's essentially gonna be a little bit bigger than this piece of art. Inside this piece of art was like maybe 41. The TV is gonna be the size of this art with the frame. Then we can put a frame around it. So I wanna see if we have a frame that I can use and modify. I've always wanted to try that DIY. I've always wanted to take a frame and try and manipulate it. If it's bigger than the whole TV, it will work. I can modify it. If it's not, then I want to look online and see if there's a better trim place. Maybe I'll text Drew. I know that he went to a better trim, like more of a specialty molding place. I'll ask him where he went. I feel like the name of it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. And see how much it would like cost out, how much it would be for me to make an ornate frame like this for the TV versus buying one that you can buy already. There's like websites where you can buy frames for the Samsung frame TV. And I want to compare the pricing before I dive into it because I want to do it to both of them so that they look really nice. We're gonna hang the TV. So I have so much wrapping to do. Now that we have wrapping paper and all of the supplies, I really want to get everything wrapped up because I also want to take Cade's like Christmas photos. Like I was seeing all of these like inspiration kind of photo shoots on TikTok of having like a box in front of the baby and it's filled with lights. So when he looks over the box, it like lights up on his face. I want him to like lay under the tree, but I need presents around to
make it make sense and make it look fuller. Because right now underneath our tree, we have no presents. It's just like empty. Not making a very pretty backdrop. And I really want to take those pictures. I can't believe it's 6 months. I'm not gonna think about it too much because I will cry again. I'm so emotional. Like all the time. I'm an emotional person. I'm a Cancer. So if you're into like astrology and zodiacs and all of that, I am a sensitive soul. Especially when it comes to Cade. Oof. I'm not gonna think about it too much. Anyways, I have boxes that I've already boxed up a lot of the stuff that I need to wrap. So I figured we can do a wrap and yap. You know how that people have been doing like this, the something and yap kind of things. I don't know if anyone's done a wrap and yap yet. I thought it was really clever because I felt like I came up with it, but it's also very obvious, so I feel like people will come up with that. But since I haven't seen anyone do it yet, I felt like I coined it. I probably didn't. So I asked you guys on Instagram what we should talk about. So we're gonna do it and wrap presents, and I want to get all of these wrapped so I can put them under the tree. I just posted it like 20 minutes ago, so let's see if anyone has responded. Oh, okay. Yes, we have lots to talk about. I love this wrapping paper that we got. I think it's so fun. I really wanted to lean into the whole village, and this village paper is so cute. I think they're really cute, but I need bows and things. I think I have a bag of bows or like ribbon that I can use. We never wrap the ones that we go to Texas with or Louisiana this year. I did that one time and TSA opened my wrapped gift. So we don't do that anymore. This is just the ones that we have for here. Kinsley, you gonna help Mama wrap? The first question, another baby? Question mark. Oh, 100%. I do want another baby. I cannot wrap my head around having two right now. I mean, Kate is 6 months old. I have yet to figure it all out in terms of balancing everything that I want to be as a mom and everything that I want to be as a business owner and just work and life balance collectively. Like Romeo and I have talked about it, like we haven't figured it out yet. So where we would love for them to be as close in age as possible, I can't imagine that happening right now. We have to wait. How long that is, I'm not sure. My mom had my brother and I 11 years that we're apart, which is a long time. Like I wouldn't, that's like starting over again. That's like the one thing I wouldn't want to do. I would want this to be like a phase of having babies in my life and then to move on. It's kind of fresh. So like, let's just do two and let's, let's get it over with and let's move on kind of thing. But we are gonna wait until we feel more prepared to have two and have more of a rhythm and a balance. I don't think that having under two is in the cards for us. What theme are you planning for Cade's first birthday? Been on this space theme with everything. I don't know if I want to keep it going for his first year. I don't know. I think I kind of want to move on to something else. I've been seeing all of these like really pretty and aesthetic things like on Pinterest. The cake with like really cute, like almost like a polo bear. I'll put in a few pictures that I've saved recently. I think they're so adorable. I guess it's whatever theme we want because he's not really going to be old enough to kind of pick. Every other thing after that, I want him to pick. Like it's whatever he wants and then I'll just facilitate it because I just really want him to be and have a creative outlet and to just be supported in anything that he wants to do because that's how I grew up with my mom. Having him being able to explore his creativity. Birthdays going forward, like he has a theme, I'll make it happen. He has an idea, even if it's weird, we're gonna do it. Like whatever you want. Any travel plans with the three of you aside from Texas? Yes, nothing is like super planned yet. After Vlogmas and after the holidays, I take about 3 weeks off. And I'm going to really like spend time obviously with family. We're gonna be traveling and stuff, but also like spend that time really thinking about 2025. I do that every year, like kind of like a regroup, reassess. What is my content gonna look like? How is my schedules gonna be? What projects are we gonna work on? Other than that time, my brain doesn't have like the capacity to figure it out. It's like, I'm just trying to keep everything going. And this year has really been transformative. So I need to figure out exactly like what I'm gonna do and what it works with balancing like, you know, being a mom and figuring out my projects. That's gonna happen over the 3 weeks, but also we'd love to take at least one trip to the snow. We usually do that every year during that time. I just don't film it because I'm technically off. We've gone to Mammoth, we've gone to Big Bear, we've gone to Mountain High kind of stuff. I'd love to get a cabin in the snow with just us, Romeo, me, Cade, and Kinsley, and just kind of decompress. This is the first time Cade will see snow, which is so cute. I've been looking into like snowsuits for him. Any details on the bookshelves in the living room? I want that to be like the first project that I kick off in 2025. I haven't figured everything out, but I think that that's naturally gonna be the first one that I tackle. I had this idea to do it over Vlogmas. In this time of year, it's already so chaotic with my film schedule and just the holidays in general, to tear up our living room, because it would be like I would have to like really dive in and like work on that project every day. It's just too much. My brain kind of started to shut down and I was like, oh, I'm already tired even thinking about that. So I just like couldn't take that on, especially with like finishing the patio, which I'm gonna dive into tomorrow, and then decorating for the holidays and stuff. It was just too hard. What are your next renovation ambitions and plans? We would love, and we think it's time, we need to redo our pool. It has some wear and flaking of the plaster. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but like, you know, like the bottom, we had it looked at and they said that we had another year in it and then we needed to do it. So I would love to renovate our pool, change the tile, change the color. I don't like that California blue, bright blue color. Everything around the pool is great. It's just the pool itself. I'm not a big fan of hot tubs, so I think I'm the one that kicked this idea to the curb. We thought about putting in a hot tub, and once we got the quote, I was like, I'm good. Go take a bath. I don't think we need that. So just refinishing the pool is gonna be enough. Anything major renovation like that happening next year, I don't think, you know, but then again, if you would have asked me if I was gonna renovate my kitchen as an extreme form of nesting, 6 months pregnant, I would have told you no, that's insane. So who knows? Sometimes I get an idea in my head and I can't let it go and I just like have to do it. I feel like the only other major thing here at the house that I can think of right off the top of my head are like the bathrooms. Specifically the upstairs bathroom is like, needs some help. It lacks all character. Like it's just not great. Everything's white. It just feels so disjointed to the rest of the house because I've been slowly adding that character and warmth back in. Love to do that. And we have the stone already in the garage for the countertops. So like we could totally do that. So who knows? Motherhood and how you juggle everything and still look like everything is in control. For the most part, there have been moments where it feels like I have no control and I'm spiraling. And then there are the majority of the times where I really do feel like this is coming naturally to me and I'm really grateful for that. I think a couple of things have really helped that. One, Romeo and I are both working from home and we created kind of a loose but structured schedule in a way that helps both of us keep things going in our own jobs and our own things, but also dedicated time with the baby. Another thing that I think really helped my kind of like mental state was not overthinking or trying to overdefine something that Cade was going through or we were going through. That's something I kept telling like my mom and Romeo was like, you're trying to make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Let's just figure out what he needs right now. Let's try everything. In my experience, people are really quick to put a label on something like sleep regression or this or that. I don't know. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's something else. And trying to put a label on it made me think like all of those symptoms or all of those like, I'm like, why do we need to put a name on it? It's just what he's doing and how he's being right now or in this phase. We'll figure it out. And I feel like it kept me very like even keeled, if that makes sense. Like it kept me from like spiraling into like research. I just focused on him. Like if he's having shorter naps today, it's probably gonna be different tomorrow. He doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make sense. So I didn't try and make it make sense. I just focused on what he needed in the moment and took everything like in steps, and I didn't overthink it. One project that you are proud of and one project that you are not happy 100% with from this year. One project that I'm obviously very proud of is the kitchen. I mean, how could I not? It was the most expensive project that I've ever spent money on, I guess besides the cottage. It came out so well, and I took some risks that that was kind of scary in the process, and I think that it literally came out so perfectly for me, exactly how I wanted it. I'm really proud about that. I'm also really proud that we tackled it in a season of life that was kind of crazy. One project that I'm not 100% proud of from this year. The archways I did finish this year. I mean, I am still proud of them. I'm not as proud that it took me so long to finish them. It was just such a repetitive, very tedious process. So I'm not proud that I waited so long. The rate that I do projects for the sake of videos really puts time constraints on my projects. It's like I showed how to do them and I finished one, but I didn't have enough time with my video schedule and how I share content to actually do the rest. So I put it on the back burner and it wasn't as important, but we had to live with it unfinished for a long time. It didn't quite bother me as much, but now that they have been finished, I looked at Romeo, I was like, aren't you glad that I finished those archways? They look so much better. I'm not proud of like the fact that I have to like make time to go back and finish something that I wish I would have finished to begin with. In total, I think I'm pretty proud of all of my projects. My skill set continues to evolve and get better. I do find myself wanting to go back and revisit some things. Like, to be honest, this molding that I put on this wall back here, to the naked eye in the camera, you can't see it, but I know it's there. Around the beam at the top, I had to kind of jigsaw some pieces together, and I can just do it better. Sometimes I see things like that, like over time, I'm like, man, I know how now to fix that, and I'd like to have the time to go back and do that. I really enjoyed your episode about photographing your candles. It was a different side. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I mean, I kind of was like, I don't know if anyone's gonna be interested in this. I was like, but this is what I have to do today. Edit Vlogmas. You just see the other things. My job is so layered and there's so much that I actually don't film. You know, you guys see, a 20-minute video a couple times a week, but there's so much more that goes into everything. Sometimes it can, I guess, come across as like, oh, like that's all she does every day in and day out, is just either renovate or like work on a project, but like those other days are filled with other things like you guys have seen at Vlogmas. It's like meetings and business and scheduling and computer work. Photographing the candles is definitely one of them. The candle business in general is very, very time consuming and takes up a lot of time every week. It's just layered. There's just so much. So I'm glad you liked it. I really enjoy photography and like having the experience in my past with it to like actually do it now for myself instead of another company or another brand makes me really happy. Your life along the years and what your plans were compared to your life today. Kind of like where I thought my life would be and like where it actually is. So when I was young, high school, let's say, or even probably a little younger than that, I definitely imagined being a fashion designer. That was what I wanted. I always loved interior design because that's what my mom did, but it was her thing, and I definitely wouldn't be a fashion designer. And then, long story short, when I was behind a pattern drafting table and I was designing clothing and I was in a factory working, and I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want to do this. Like, I love the industry, but I didn't actually want to make clothing because there's a very big difference. So my life from like what I thought I would do as a career definitely evolved and changed, and as I evolved as a human. So I definitely thought I would be a fashion designer, and I'm not, but I'm still in a creative industry. It's similar. I just wanted to be creative. I also thought I would have kids at 26. We all know that that didn't happen. It actually happened almost a decade after that. As 26 approached, I thought I would be having kids more like 32, but that was when COVID happened. And so that derailed. I feel like life kind of like pushes you into like different things, and like how, I don't know, like it just evolves and it changes. And I couldn't imagine like the uncertainty in the world and what everyone was experiencing, like literally a deathly illness going around, virus going around. Like I couldn't imagine that being reality. So we did something different instead. We had the cottage, and I poured myself into work, truly exhausted my body and my mental state and everything during COVID, just to have something constructive to pour my energy into. When it didn't happen then, I really like decided that I was like, we really want this. I'm not getting any younger. So we had Cade when I was 35. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and like life kind of like transitions, but always, like when I was young, I wanted to be in a creative industry, check. I wanted to live in California and own a home here and have a life here because I absolutely love it here on the West Coast, check. I wanted to be in a committed long-term relationship with someone that was my best friend and that I loved, and build a family and a beautiful life together, check. So a lot of the things that I wanted happened. It didn't happen in exactly maybe the way that I had anticipated in some ways, but it still happened. Two questions that I think kind of go hand in hand. Something you didn't expect about becoming a mom, and in what ways would you say motherhood has changed you? And I kind of touched on one of them. It's so interesting, and it's been kind of like on my mind recently, even before like the proper age of being able to work. I was always very work focused or career focused. I knew like, you know, the value of $1. I knew I wanted to get to California one day. I wanted a car when I was 16, and I had to work for all of those things. And so I was always good at saving my money and stuff. So I was always very career focused. So for my whole life until I've had Cade, to be very career focused and really making my career my whole personality. There isn't a time when I am not really working or thinking about work. And even when I was working a corporate job or a 9-to-5 job, thinking about what was next and what I could do on the side to better myself or my career, always constantly career focused, to now having, hi baby, hi, are you smiling at me? Cade has entered the chat. So going from that mindset then to having him, it has been a huge shift for me mentally, kind of like abandoning that mentality. Like, yes, of course, you have to work, you have to have a roof over your head, you have to work hard and you know, make ends meet and make enough money and all of the things. But my whole personality isn't my career anymore. And it's actually quite freeing. You know, it's like I can put positive energy into my work, but it's not everything. He has become everything. Maybe I'm just replacing it with him. I don't know. But something about him and his face, he's right here. Maybe your little smile. Do you know you're 6 months old? It really took me by surprise, thinking about my multiple degrees and all of the things. And I'm just like, I just want to be a mom. It's just a wild mental shift. Talk about when you will have your candles in stores, or if you're working on that. Well, yes, been working on it. Very exciting things. Nothing is like final, so I can't really speak to it so much because it's just still up in the air. There is something very major and very exciting in the works, because that is a huge goal of mine. I feel like it is so hard, and you guys have been like so trusting of me on the scents, but scent is so personal. We just like what we like, you know, and being able to smell the candles in person, see it, experience it, hold it, feel the weight, feel like all of the high quality and attention to detail things that have gone into it, you just don't get to experience through a photograph. So being in store and being able to like bring it to you guys so that you can like actually experience it and go somewhere and actually experience it is like at the top of my list. Like, it's so major. So I have some things in the works. You will obviously be the first to know when it's actually like real. Probably sort of real, but like let's let it shake out, because things can happen, you know, you never know. You don't really put all your eggs in one basket or think too like it's too final until it's really final. So you will be the first to know 1000%. at you. Look at my guy. Romeo and the baby have woken up so we can hang the TV, but I have 4 more presents to wrap. So I'm gonna wrap these first, finish our Q&A, and then we'll hang the TV because that's really exciting. I'd like to watch the movie in bed today. How well does Kinsley and Cade get along? Is Kinsley good about sharing you? She's getting better. I did feel very guilty. I would look at her and I knew like she was my only thing, you know, and she always sat in my lap and she would always be right next to me. And when I had the baby, like she couldn't be. It was just her spot. And then when I would look at her face and she was just so sad. I felt so guilty. Being in postpartum, I, you know, was in pain and like I was going through things. My body had been through things. Even when I was pregnant, it was hard for her to sit in my lap because my belly. In the beginning, I felt very bad and I was trying to make sure that I was giving her attention and love, especially with there being 2 of us. We would make sure that, you know, she was always around. But from the get-go, she was like great with Cade. She was very gentle. I never worried about that actually. And she'll even bring her toys to him and put them next to him in his bouncer and like wait for him to play with her, which is, I feel like they're gonna grow up and they're gonna have so much fun. Do you currently have a food you're hyper fixated on? I've been very into baking. Sweets has been something that since my pregnancy been kind of hyper fixated on, more so when I was pregnant. Coming out of being pregnant, I don't have that sweet tooth anymore, but I do find myself like wanting like little sweet dessert. Last night we went to Baskin Robbins and I got Rocky Road. And I have a hyperfixation of oatmeal. I think that those 2. What foods are you having and serving for Christmas? Right, babe, we're doing the same thing that we did last year with the pot roast.
Yeah, that was a hit.
Yeah, it's my mom's recipe actually. It's actually a rendition of a recipe that she did for pot roast that was kind of more of a complicated recipe. She found a new way of doing it in the crock pot. It is good. Is it as good as her doing it on like the electric skillet and browning it down for hours and hours and hours? No, but it's so much easier. And it's definitely when you're making other things, it's definitely, you know, easier to tackle in this way. It's a pot roast and we'll do the traditional sides. We'll have like rice and gravy. We're doing corn, green beans. Are we doing yams? We always do like a traditional like American breakfast. Like we're gonna do pancakes and eggs and bacon and toast. Probably more like Hawaiian bread, probably. Who is this for? I give up. I keep wrapping and I keep not looking or forgetting who it's for.
What, so you gotta unwrap and then wrap again?
Yes, it's awful. I have had to unwrap 3 already. The funny thing is I look at it, I just forget because my brain is mush. Wait, I love this one. It says, how to meet my dream man. How do I answer that? How did I meet you? Romeo and I have been together for so long. I've had friends that are single that are like on dating apps and stuff, and I love to like swipe for them. It's fun. I wouldn't even know what it would be like to have an app. We met at work. I always tend to date people that I worked with because I went to fashion school. We didn't have straight guys that went to fashion school, or if they were, there were just a handful and they were like in graphic design or something. So when I went to FITM, it was all girls. We worked at an Italian restaurant together. And so we've been together for so long, very much a friendship first, you know, because we're working together and we're friends. He was so funny. You were really funny. Are you funny anymore?
No.
He doesn't show you guys the real side of him. It's sad to me that you don't show people how funny you are.
I don't think I'm funny. I'm just camera shy.
He is camera shy.
And I was doing TikTok dances on the side.
He knows where the camera's pointing, so he's over here doing TikTok dances, and you guys will never get to see that side of him because he's so camera shy. I know a very different Romeo. My mom knows. Stop! I almost got you. Find someone that you genuinely enjoy their presence. You can think of them as your best friend, because I feel like that is like at its core why we have been together for so long, because we genuinely enjoy each other's company. We like very similar things, but we also challenge each other in a lot of ways, and we're not afraid to tell each other how it is. We have a great friendship and therefore a great relationship. And then we have a great baby. This guy over here who wants to hang a TV. He's looking at Kinsley. He loves to stare at her. TV time. I feel like I should just move some things out of the way for now. Harder to close than our last dresser, but it's so pretty. Oh, we're gonna have to find a good place for this guy. How the frame TV works is actually the brains are not in the actual TV. It's in the box. So it has a very, very thin cord that goes from the TV to the box that you just need to kind of transport somewhere. This goes down to the bottom so that we're not going to see any of the cords. We just need to determine where it's going to be placed on the wall with a potential frame. That's where I keep messing up, and I keep hanging the TV in a good spot for it without a frame. And then when I put a frame, it looks too low. I just need to take into consideration that I want like a beefy frame like this. Romeo just said that my other art in the living room is the worst thing in our house. I'm telling them what you said.
What? Oh, those babies? I'm shocked.
They're the biggest pieces I have. But maybe we could put this art there, but I can guarantee you it's still gonna look small. That wall is huge.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to buy anything for the wall because I was gonna build the bookshelf.
My hair looks crazy. It looks like a mushroom.
I knew there was space between the drywall and the concrete wall, the garage. I knew it. Now it's very minimal, but there is space. So I was trying to find the stud, and I'm like, is this a concrete wall? Like, I could not find the stud. It would not work. I was like, let me just remove this to see if I can see in the wall. There's space between. So this is definitely drywall, but this is the concrete wall. I'd say like 6-7 inches. It's not enough to do anything with my closet or, you know, whatever. The sheetrock is really thick right here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's right. Here it is. So the TV is 25.5 inches tall total. If I want to do a beefy frame, 4 inches, 5 inches, something like that. I want it to look kind of like that art piece. And then what I love about the frame TVs is that you can put art on it. So I can put my own art. I can put one of my mom's pieces. So I definitely need to take that measurement into consideration, you know? So 25.5, if I put it at eye level, like in the center, that would be like here. Because naturally TVs will sit lower because when you watch a TV, you're sitting down. Art is different. You don't hang art that low. If 25.5 is like here, then I add 5 inches for a frame, the bottom of the picture would be right there. So the bottom of the TV for now is gonna sit up here, which is gonna feel a little high until I can do the frame. This is gonna be a little more complicated than I had anticipated. Basically, my molding is in the way of the bracket. So I'm basically gonna have to cut the molding off the wall. It's fine, but if we would've got the 55, it would've fit perfectly, but we got the 50, so it's like hitting these two center pieces just a little bit. I'm not kidding you guys. I think that that was the hardest TV mount I have ever put up. The tape wouldn't stick to the wall for the paper to stay up. Every time I would level it, it would be level and then it would be different. This was a struggle. I'm not sure what's happening. I think that the struggle with these TVs is that they come with 2 mounts, so they can use the same mount for all of the sizes of the TVs. It is level, but each bracket is somewhat like tilted like this for some reason. I don't know why we're holding it. I don't know, but I think it's gonna work. Okay, so just set it there. Okay, so when it has the frame, it's gonna sit kind of where that one was. I've always felt that that art was a tad too low. So right now it looks a little high, but I think once we have the frame, it's in anticipation of having the frame, so to speak. Oh, it works! He really wanted a TV in here.
To use the accessibility function, simply press and hold the volume button.